Welcome into WagerTalk TV. I am Drew Martin, joined by Robbie Vino and Tony Finn of WagerTalk.com. We are talking some Big Ten college football here. Indiana Hoosiers, Penn State Nittany Lions, 53.5 being the total. We're seeing Penn State minus 12 in Happy Valley, Robbie. What are you liking here with the Nittany Lions and the Hoosiers?
Yeah, it seems that to me, Drew, that 12 might be a little excessive, but I can understand it. I feel like, we're not even out of September yet as we do this video. And it looks like the people that piled on the Indiana bandwagon all spring, all summer are jumping off in droves. And the Penn State bandwagon comes along and picks a lot of them up. So I can understand why that line is where it is. I just think there's probably a little value towards the underdog here. But I'll say this, it's going to be difficult for Indiana. This is probably the one game on Penn State's schedule this year that was circled. It's a major revenge spot. Last year, they start the season against this team. They lose 36-35 in overtime. That game, I think the Penn State fan base wanted to run James Franklin not out of town but out of the country. That's a game where they were winning 21-20 with about a little under 2 minutes left, if I remember it right, and they held Indiana to a turnover on downs inside like their own 15, and instead of running the clock out, they immediately scored, and Indiana came back in the last minute and a half, matched that score, 2-point conversion, tied, sent it to overtime, and then we get that, Michael Penix 2-point conversion that was the inbounds or out of bounds, but Penn State lost. And they spiraled out of control after that. So this is a game they want in the worst way. It's the second time in 3 weeks that they get one of these prime times, 7:30. So this one isn't exactly a whiteout. Here, Happy Valley, they're calling this a stripe out. So again, fancy ways to, as Tony tells us, get the fans all liquored up, 109,000 of them, and get this. We saw what they were like against Auburn, and they still didn't have an easy time with Auburn in that game. So I don't know that a stripe out means that they're going to have an easy time here. Indiana, like I say, a couple of losses already. You have to wonder about their mindset. When you lose to Cincinnati, you lose to Iowa. They barely get by Western Kentucky last week. I think that was a little bit of a down game for them. Certainly their minds, he can't tell, Tom Allen's a great motivator, guys, but I'm not sure that he can convince his team that all is not lost yet, when in fact it's really not. They've lost one Big Ten game, and this is a Big Ten divisional game. So to me, Indiana shows up focused for this one, as does Penn State. I think the concerns are the same on both sides here. Neither team can run the football. And Penn State, for all their victories so far this year, has not run the football against anybody, including only 3.5 a carry last week against Villanova from the FCS. And that's taken out the sack yardage. So you've got problems for both sides running. If that's the case, because both run defenses are pretty good, Penn State's has been better, but they've both been pretty good. If that's the case and it comes down to a quarterback, do you want Sean Clifford or do you want Michael Penix Jr.? If it comes down to big play on the perimeter, do you want Jahan Dotson of Penn State, who's phenomenal? Do you want Ty Freifogel on the other side, who's been really good? I mean, they all have playmakers. You can make a lot of similarities between these two teams, Drew, to say that 12.5 is probably too much. To me, this is a last gasp effort for Indiana. Penn State hasn't been impressive enough to me to warrant laying this type of price. The problem is when you talk about Michael Penix's 2 games against good defenses so far this year, the Cincinnati and the Iowa game, he's 31 of 71, 380 yards, 2 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. That's 43.7% completions and 6 interceptions in 2 games against good defenses. That's scary. If Penn State scores points off the defense, 12 is easy to cover. I don't know which way I'd lean here. I see this total going up, and up. It was 52.5 earlier today, 53.5 now, as you mentioned. In a game where both defenses, to me, might be the best units on the field, maybe we could look under a 31-20 type game. Still cashes your under ticket. So maybe that's the way I would look here. Game under. Nothing I've played yet, but maybe we look under.
Maybe a defensive battle here in Happy Valley. What do you like in this Big Ten matchup, Tony?
Well, Rob's correct. I mean, I think James Franklin has. I think this is going to be personal to him. He's that kind of guy. I don't think he's that so vanilla that he's going to forget about what happened last year, as Rob described quite well in detail. Does he exact revenge? Does he want to make a statement that this program belongs where they are in the top 5? I have questions about that, and I think Rob outlined them perfectly too. I think he has questions. Less than 1 year removed from that Michael Penix controversial overtime touchdown run, it's during a COVID period. I think we all know he remembers it quite well. Indiana. I want to say there's a lot of question marks. Let's do this. Big win last week. I think it's a good win for them. 33-31 over West Kentucky. Western Kentucky has a really good offense. Penn State is a better defensive team than I think their offense. I think most people would agree. I don't know if you'd agree with me, but I think this offense, this Indiana offense, outperformed their pace, their skill set last year. I think there's some things happened, and more people expected a lot of the same that they got last year, and I just didn't think that was quite possible. I do believe they're a good defensive team. In fact, I've been looking, as Rob just mentioned, I've been looking for setups, and I've purposely passed over. I wanted to play the under in this Western Kentucky Indiana game. And, the more I read and the more I looked at and more box scores, a few pieces of tail, I just got away from it because of what Western Kentucky is capable of doing. In hindsight, I wish I would have. And I think I'm probably going to pass on this, but I would be on the under in this game. Under, I think Indiana's underplay. The biggest question, I don't have any question about Penn State. I know who this Penn State team is. We all know this Penn State. They're going to win games through the air and by playing good, technically sound defense. Now, the $1 million question is this Indiana team, are they any good? Is Michael Penix Jr., is he what he was against Western Kentucky? Because if he continues to take shots of tequila before the game and maybe hit the dispensary and do those kind of things, as his coach suggested he do last week, the coach said, "Listen, dude, you got to relax. Well, how to do that, coach? Some tequila, a dispensary. Help you a bunch, kid." And what's he do? He gets senior wideout Ty Freifogel back in the mix, 10 catches, right? Kicker Charles Campbell, perfect, 4-for-4 from field goals, with maybe, with a little bit of humor thrown in there too as well. But Penix Jr. was good. He was good. But there's a big difference, guys, between Western Kentucky and the Big Ten defenses, especially this one, under the circumstances that we're going to see play out, because I think all of us agree that Mr. Franklin has, and I'm going to say this because I think it's fair, he has a hard-on for this team, and it's going to be and revenge is on the way. If I'm on this game, and I'm not, guys, but if I am, and if I do this late, it will be, as Rob mentioned, I will go under the bookmaker's closing number, because I think Indiana is a better defensive team, what they're capable of doing, than people give them credit for. And Penn State, I think, is a perfect victim for some of their defensive scheme. A low-scoring game is what I see.
He's Tony Finn, ladies and gentlemen. He knows his Big Ten football. You can check him out at WagerTalk.com. With tequila, without tequila, however you would like. He'll be there waiting for you. Mondays, $9 Mondays. Tuesdays, $2 Tuesdays. Check it all out at WagerTalk.com. Also, live odds screen, guys. Get the best free live odds in the industry. The live odds tab there at WagerTalk.com.